Bro. Coach, you hear me? Coach, yeah. Let's go, tap back in, people. Tap back in, my people. There you go, boy. Let's get him right back in. We ain't wasting no time. Let's get him right back in. Okay, let's get to it. OG, OG.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. All right, so let's finish off where we left off at. Pick up back where we left off. All right. So, um, at this point, you did work over there in Pittsburgh. Um, time for you to leave college. Like, what are some of the decisions going in your head? Like, or do you feel like, okay, I should go overseas, possibly make some money off this? You know what? Can I possibly have an NBA workout, or even possibly make a D League team? Or like, what was your next thought process? Professionally wise, with the ball.
I went to Spain,
You went to Spain.
Real Madrid, and was politely asked to leave. One of the best things to happen in my life again was failure, because I knew nothing else. I've been successful through basketball, but then these things started to happen. And again, how you're supposed to be paid. There was a college college team that was put together the tour, and people of Madrid was like, damn, you like them, and you're there, and guess what? You don't get paid.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think people understand. You can have your agent. Like, I was trying to get Merle Scott to represent me. He's a dude that's out of Philly. He's related to one of the dudes from Boys to Men, and we were trying to get some stuff together. But I'm just telling you, it was weird, because, like I said, when they asked me to leave, I thought I was a dude that I'm getting 14 assists a game. They didn't want that. I'm an American. They want me to score.
Mm-hmm.
And they want you to be the guy that's going kind of groom the younger dudes. And I'm like, nah, like, I'm here to win. Like, again, my grooming younger days was a little bit different versus Spanish dude. Like, nah, like, and you start realizing they don't want you to do that. So I was sent home, and that was at that point, Dre, it was one of the lowest points in my life, because I said, yo, what do I have? Because I don't want to go back to that block.
Yep.
As a failure.
That's a fact. That's a big thing to us, for sure. That's big. That's huge.
And I didn't want to go back as a failure. And what happened, I'm telling you, man. Again, I had that conversation with Gary DeCesar again. He said, yo, if you come back to New York, you can't stay in the Bronx. He said, that block is too powerful. And I never understood what he said, but it just was like, the block is powerful for me, because that's where I got love. Again, I was a celebrity. Again, I'm the dude that, I see mothers that's like, oh, I want you to marry him. Like, oh, you should talk to my daughter. And it's like, little do you know, like, I'm no different than that guy who you think is a bad guy. It's just I'm a wolf in sheep's clothing. So, I was fortunate, right after Spain, my coach was like, yo, why don't you come back to Johnstown and coach? I was like, coach, like, that's beneath me. But then I said, you know what I can do is I can practice with the team. And what happened was, Jordan Theodore's older brother, Kwame, that was like my first big time recruit. And I got him to come to Johnstown. And when I tell you, Jordan is extremely talented, but Kwame at the same stage, just they were different shit, different gears. And Kwame may have been more athletic, but I'm just telling you, like, Kwame was a problem. So Jordan got. So I started coaching, and it became like, yo, it became like, yo, I'm mentoring, and that, I never looked at it as coaching. I'm mentoring, and I became a degenerate coach there. And what I realized, especially being a point guard in New York City, you were coaching on the floor. You were coaching on the floor.
Yeah, facts. So then, you like you said, you make the transition into coaching, where you basically you went back to the college you once played for, which is a unique thing because that's not everybody have the opportunity. It's crazy it may seem, but now Shane has the opportunity. But it's like this opportunity don't come by often where you can be able to coach to the at the college you played for. So that's just a blessing in itself. And after that, you also took some time off again. Before you got back into coaching with Monroe, which is another school you went to. So, what made you, what was that transition like? I think that was a year around 2001 or something like this. So what was that like? Was this book trying to find his nick in coaching, or just trying to figure out himself? Like, what was that about?
My give back. My give back. I never thought I'd be 25. I never thought I'd be 30 years old. I thought I'd be a beautiful corpse. And I say that with all due respect because that's what I knew. So my give back was to make sure that everything that I was given as a coach, and now being that I'm older, I graduated. Like again, I graduated college. I never thought that would happen. That wasn't one of my goals. And now I say that everything that was given to me, God made sure I gave it back tenfold. And now I coach at Monroe, the place that gave me a start. It was nowhere in the world. I had Kevin Bell, Mike Johnson, Kingsley Edwards. You know what I'm saying? The original Dread. Like, I'm just telling you, those guys, if they did not have it, and again, I say this with all due respect, if they did not have me, I'm not sure if they make it because I was them, they were me. We were one and the same. We were one and the same. And I understood the struggles that they were having. I understood having Edgar Sosa's brother Eric there. I understood that. I understood what it was to go on the Heights. I understood, like, oh, shit, I'm not checking in. I got to go talk to somebody because Eric Sosa needs to be at practice. And Eric Sosa, again, I understood. So I was able to have that conversation with them, and it wasn't bullshit. And I think that's what's made me good with all you guys, the level of sincerity and my emotion. Again, like Dread, we've been in the gym, and I start, I'm working you out, pause, and I'm crying. And it's like, it's the give back because that give back, I always feel that I have to make sure that you guys are good because it started back for me at Monroe. Like again, they gave me a second chance, and I got to make sure that, especially coaching there, like think about it, we number one. So I was number one in the country as a player. I think we were number one in the country as a coach as well. I won a city championship as a player at St. Raymond's. I won a city championship as a coach at St. Raymond's. I won a region championship at Monroe as a player. I won a region championship as a coach. And it's just like, as you go through this stuff, I'm like, yo, like they were great. And the one thing about Monroe, I was fired. No one knows that I got fired.
Wow.
Because part of it, like my heart was basketball, and President Jerome was trying to teach me business. And I had to, again, my business was, trying to figure out, what's a $3 bottle, what's a $5, a dime. Like, again, I wasn't ready to mature, so again, I'm 25, 26, but I'm still 16. And you know what, the biggest thing, I was still searching for love. I was trying to find love from so many places, because the block was giving me love. But, again, that transition, because like I said, I also didn't want to get stuck loving that block. And as the big homie Jay says, that's never going to be my block.
Facts. That's a fact. Well, I'm happy you made that decision. Like you said, I'm just finding myself that you was fired. So after you removed from there, what was kind of your thoughts then? Was it kind of like, yo, should I give up? Should I continue? Because because you then go on to Maris. so it's like, I mean, I could only imagine for like somebody who's kind of in your corner, kind of like trying to help you at this point. I don't know if you had somebody, but even if there was somebody there for you at that point, kind of trying to figure, but they're like, maybe let's help Book figure out where he needs to be. Why does he keep going from this place to this place? You know what I mean? So, like, kind of just talk about what was the thought thought process behind going to Marist, because this is now your third school you're coaching at, which is, you know, most coaches' progression, which we would like to see, is, you know, keep going this way. You know what I mean? Obviously, you know, you took a different route, different road with ups and downs, you know, and now I feel like you're at Marist where it's back in the up and the rise. And now to talk about your experience at Marist, where I feel like after that you kind of get your groove on. You know, obviously then you go to the Gauchos and so forth and so on. But you know, kind of start with there. You at Marist.
At Marist, I did it because I thought that was the progression that people took. You know, again, I was fortunate. You know, like I said, I had my younger brother Felipe Marquez. Excuse me. You know, Kwame. You know, again, Kwame Theodore. You know, Jordan's brother. Like his mom's. You know, Carol. You know, you talk about helping me. You know, with stability and sustain some stuff. That's what helped me. You know, and like I said, coaching the Gauchos, Paul Brown giving me an opportunity to coach. You know, because when I came in, I had like Terrell McKenzie, Louis Guzman, and Edgar. You know, so again, that progression. You know, I met. You know, again, like no one knows that D. Mitch, my sophomore year in high school, he put me on a bus to go to camp. You know what I'm saying? And that my bad, Philippe. That's right. It is Kwame Washington. My bad, Philippe. I'm sorry. So. You know, I get to Marist, and like I said, it's funny. I had coached in Italy with Gauchos. Went to Italy with Russ Smith, Yada, and Ronald Ramon, and D. Mitch went on the trip, and and it was one of those things, man, where you know I realized I could coach. I never had confidence in coaching. I just was like, you know what, I'm gonna get some guys to play really hard, and we're gonna defend, and we're gonna out tough you, and that was it. So, you know, when I got to Marist, Matt Brady, man, I was fortunate. And by the way, I got the job because of working camps. Like, you know, I got it old school. You know, we worked camps at Hoop Group. You know, guys like Mike Rice. You know, we Ash Howard. We were in camp, and dude gave me, you know, he offered me the job, Matt Brady, and he said, you know, I'm not going to take this personal, but when I was at Wagner, you know, I took you on campus and you acted like you weren't, you know, you didn't want to be bothered. And it was funny because it came full circle, because he said, I know that's not the kid that you are. And he gave me an opportunity. And like I said, it was tough for me because I got you as an 8th grader. I got, ninth grader. I got Cash. You know, those guys are rising juniors. Edgar, Curtis, Kelly, and I'm recruiting guys, or I know guys that I can't get at Marist. And it was one of the most frustrating things because you guys would come on campus to show love to Uncle Book, but wasn't going there. And Matt Brady knew that. And part of the problem is I was still so attached to the Gauchos that I would commute. I would go 76 miles one way every day. I go back and forth, because I still want to be in the gym. And I realized where my love and my attachment were to you guys. That's when I realized, like, oh shit, I'm at Marist, and I had a chance to work with some really good guys my year there. You know, Will Whittington at one point was shooting 53% from three. You know, he was leading the nation in 3-point field goal. Jared Jordan, you know, he played point guard with the Knicks for a little bit.
Yeah.
And Matt Brady and Rob O'Driscoll, you know what I'm saying? Those dudes taught me how to coach. Rob Brady, Matt Brady showed me, understood offense. And he said something that made a lot of sense. And hopefully I'm not disrespecting any coach, but he said, you know what? You know why people always scream defense? Because it's easy to teach. He said, Book, once you can teach offense, man, you're pretty good. And I said, nah, that's not true. Then I thought about it. You're not talking about intricate schemes on defense. You know what? If you're playing hard, you're in unison. But imagine you draw something up where it's a back screen, ball screen. Oh shit, we got to play on the opposite side. Now you're cooking with grease. So he taught me the nuances of, you know what? You got to be able to draw stuff up. You got to be able to, you got to be able to have cadence in practice. You got to be able to run the practice. You got to understand that you got to be organized. You got to be able to get guys better on your watch. And what he did was he gave me a platform to go to another level. And then he was such a gangster. He said, I'm going to send you back to the Gauchos, and I'm going to get you more money, because I'm going to call your board and I'm going to tell him that we're giving you a raise. And like I said, when I came back, I just knew it was something I wanted to do. And I would say God had a lot of pushing, because again, you know, the transition of it for me to come back now, you know, you already got a relationship with Nike. Like, everyone overlooks having a relationship with USA Basketball, and oh shit, then I get you guys, because when I got you guys, Grant, I wanted to be the GM. And I think Billy, you know, Billy Lovett did a great
So
job.
USA Basketball before you got us.
Yeah. So I had some before, and then I had you. It was crazy. USA Basketball. I coached a gold medal team under 19 Olympic Festival.
Yeah, under 18 team. Yeah. It's
Lance,
crazy. It's like before we even get to it, I want to skip over some stuff. So like, I want you to stick on the topic you just saw with that special team that you were able to be a part of. You know what I mean? Well, we always be a part, because everybody was so special on that team, and like literally everyone. Somebody went went to the league, D1, like everybody went high major colleges.
Durant, I always told people I thought you was the best prospect on that team, because a big guard. And what happened was at Rice, because you were 6'4", 6'5", you played the 4 by default. But on the circuit, you were a guard. And I remember telling you one time, like, no one realizes that I had an agreement with you that if you averaged 30 for a tournament, that I was moving you up, and you averaged like 35. Like, they don't remember that, because my whole point was I didn't want to take Dwayne Mitchell's team and you know, the quote unquote Mitch's team. And Dwayne was good because it was you and Chris that were playing 15s. And I said, nah, they have to play up. And those guys have to play up. And I remember in Orlando, when I think 16 other showcase, and then y'all had to go back to 15 other nationals, you was like, nah, I want to stay. I want to stay.
Yeah, I remember.
and that team coming after Maris, that team I knew was special, because I remember asking all you guys, who's recruiting you? Is it anybody that's recruiting you that you want? I'll call. And I remember, I forgot. Like, I wanted you to go to Arizona because I thought that, like, a big guard, you were chosen for me, because as good as Kimber was, and as close as we were, Fouch, I always said my teams are going to do well with guys that look like him. And again, even when I've gone all across my coaching career, guys that are versatile, you know what I'm saying, who can do different things, who can get a bucket, and by the way, who defend defense to offense, for me, went through the roof. So, you know, and because people fail to realize, I wish I kept Tu Holloway. Like, I'm just telling you, you know, at that point, Wayne, like, I had a blueprint. I remember not getting Corey Fisher, and I lost my mind. Him and Justin Burrell, I was like, I got to get those guys. And then I said, no, I don't. Look at the pound that I got. Look at who I got. And by the way, what no one understands, Dred, you did play up. Like, so, again, who else? There was no underclassmen on that team.
Nah, not at all.
You were the baby, and, you know, it's like, oh, you baby Durant, he sleeps and you don't wake him up. He's growing, yo. You don't make him do nothing extra. He's fine, yo. He's fine. Faith, and he's like, Coach Book, you need to talk to him. I am. He's fine. You know, but think about the run that we had, that team that was so special. You want to say, you know, in a 2-3 year span, again, like I said, I remember one game we lost, and there was a championship game when Danny Jennings bugged out on Chad, and he had a scissors. He was going to cut Chad on the bench.
Yep.
After that, you know, matter of fact, Chad got a tech. Chad got a tech, and I fired him, and then I rehired him.
You fired him.
I fired him. Yeah, how about that? He got fired about 50 times. You know, but and then what was really good, the team that I really wanted to coach, and no knock to y'all, I wanted to coach Shane, I wanted to coach Deron, I wanted to coach Jordan Enriquez. Like, I wanted to coach that team. Because then, like I said, with Amari was going to play that next year. So, like, I was looking forward to saying, look at my big wings. Look, you know what I'm saying? Look at those guys who can make plays, because there was nobody like y'all. And, you know, And I think what made us successful with the Gauchos, that we weren't a Rice school. I mean, the Rice program. We weren't the St. Ray's program. We weren't as event. Like, we were the city's program. We got, think about it, we got Danny and Kev from Lockland.
Yeah, Kev Phillips, Danny. Then we got Snacks. Like
Big Snacks,
it was
South
too
Shore.
crazy. And they wasn't letting nobody in the paint. Like whichever. And we had Devin Hill blocking shots. Like, and these are you know, feel me? These are our front court. That's like, you feel me? These are names that you guys might not even know because New York was so known for guards, but we had big men play too. Like these are guys.
Taking pots up.
Kevin going to Drexel. We had Dennis Jennings going to West Virginia. You know what I mean? So like everybody ate. It was enough food on the table for everybody to eat. And that's that team so special.
I learned how to coach with the Gauchos because that was arguably the most talent that you had on one team. Like, I've had Arizona teams where we've had 4 pros, but I'm saying, like, I've had, like, on your team, like, we just named 5, 6 guys that were Division I. By the way, like Chris Fouch, everyone talks about, oh man, you know, I don't know how good he was. By the way, that dude's a 2,000-point scorer. You know, and I remember having an argument with Miss June, love her to death, and she was like, Book, you got to make sure that all of these kids get what they're supposed to get. It's not just about one of them. And I said, no. They're going to all get because it's on my watch. So think about it. On your team, Truck goes to West Virginia. You go to Miami. Jordan goes to Seton Hall. And Kimba goes to UConn. That's 4 Big East. You guys fucking know the ACC and Big East. There's no other AU programs that can say that. And by the way, at the level where we won, it's like, Dred, I remember when we went out to Arizona, I was like, I wanted you to go there because I wanted you to lose your mind on the Pac-10 at the time. But there was, like, people talk about Brandon Jennings as good as he was. Kimba and Jordan punished him. I punished him. Like, we won by 20, and it was him, DeMar DeRozan. Like, we wasn't. I remember, like, to this day, Dinos would be like, "Oh, if we had more time, Book, we would have won." Dinos, we dubbed y'all.
It wasn't even close.
It got to the point that, so remember when Nike used to show up to our games? I used to be like, yo, if we win, you send us another run of Jordan. Send us 12 pair of Jordans. Send us some bags. That's how gangsta it was. That's why I say, like, with all due respect, nobody was doing that, and no one will ever do that again. And I'm going to do it.
Because, like, now knowing, you know, a little about the business side and being a little business savvy and, you know, understand the culture of basketball, like, I believe you. Because, no, I was in the receiving end. You was in the giving end. And I'm like, literally, we was walking into practices, like, yo, come upstairs. 3 more boxes. Next week, come upstairs. Next 2 days later, Book, I'm hitting you a little. Follow me. Where we going, Book? Yo, just follow me. I guess upstairs, bro, with some exclusive LeBrons. You feel me? Nobody else got. So he used to always take care of everybody. It was no favoritism. Everybody ate. You feel me? If I got 20, the person I got 10 minutes less on the bench than me still got 20 pairs of sneakers. You know what I mean? And that goes back to what Coach Booker talked about schools, where on his watch, this was not happening. You know what I mean? We got guys going Big E's, you know, take all these high major schools. You know, it come down to who Chris Fouch didn't want to say, quote unquote, you know, the least favorite of the team. And look where he went. He went to Drexel and made a career out of himself. So that's dope, bro. For real. So that, you know, you kind of go on to over to Xavier now. Make that jump. How was that? You know what I mean? You talked about, you know, Tutu being one of your guys. You know, you guys do like Tutu, Mark Lyons over there. And I just know a little bit the organization because on my recruiting trips, you know, obviously I took a visit there. I ain't gonna lie,
we had you sit in front, like, it was crazy where you was sitting. Dude was like, yo, who is this dude? Like, yo, Mark Lyons, Tu Holloway, and Jordan Crawford. People have no idea, like, that I put that together. And I say it now because I never said it before. You know, everybody else said what they did, but it's like, you put 3 of the most dangerous guards that's ever played at one time. And you start to say, like, just look at their numbers. Like, to this day, you know, Tu Holloway, like, you know how close I am to you guys, like as I went through everything, like the day I went to jail, 2 Holloway took me to jail.
This is crazy.
Like, and you know what? It was one of those things where it's like, don't cry, you know what I'm saying? Don't show emotion because I don't want this dude bugging out. And he's probably saying the same thing. So you talk about how
Yeah.
close, you know what I'm saying? Now, again, you rewind. We're at Xavier, and he had committed to. He had went to prep school out there, and he had committed to, it was Cincinnati or Indiana. When I tell you, I was like, yo, come to my house to eat, because no rule was going to tell me I can't take care of a kid who's in a foreign land and he's hungry. And I remember just saying, like, yo, you know, I know where you stay, but again, like, I'm gonna feed you and you're good. And he, you know, boom, he commits to Indiana, and it's like, okay, well, it's over. And it's like, nah, that's still our kid. And lo and behold, like, I didn't stay recruiting him, or I didn't stay in touch with him because I thought something was gonna happen at Indiana. They go on probation and he decommits. And I just was like, yo, where do you want to go? And he's like, what do you mean? Like, I'm coming to Xavier. I was like, are you sure? Do you want to take your visits? Da da da. But it had everything to do with, like, when he came there, that, you know, you start to say, like, it was a pipeline, like Sherwin Anderson, you know, and my man, you know, Darnell, like Coach Will was like, yo, it was a pipeline of New York City guys that went there. Lionel Chalmers, you know, like rocking. But next thing you know, that dude, like, he became ESPN2. He became, you know what I'm saying? I remember when I got the Arizona job, them dudes, him, Mark Lyons, and Jordan Crawford sat me down and was like, yo, you got to go, because what other money would you make aside from this than in the streets? Like, that's the relationship. I was like, no, I'm not going. And
Big fact.
you know what I'm saying? So that, you know, that's the dude who, you know, him. And it was crazy because then I got to get Mark Lyons again at Arizona. But like, you know, but like the love that you have when you do right by people, you'll be surprised how it comes back. When you're sincere and guys understand that they know you love them, y'all will run through a wall for me, because it's always been one thing, you know, it's reciprocated.
Big facts, big facts. And I don't know, as he book his talking, you know, I'm up here putting a video. These are guys he's talking about. You know, I'm currently showing the video of Mark Lyons, it's him playing overseas. Like, these are two still premier dudes who's doing work overseas. Like, these are two dogs. Like, you can't talk about overseas playing without mentioning these two guys' names, because they've done it on every level. Literally every single level. And, you know, I'm sure they give all, or they don't give all, but they give a lot of credit to Uncle Book, which a lot of us do, man, because Uncle Book changed a lot of lives, man. Even whether from, no matter how much, you know, of a difference he made in your life, you know, it's some point where he changed something, the trajectory in your life to help you, you know, better yourself. So, you know, man, like I said, as I go through the show, we continue thanking you, Book, for everything you've done for the culture, man. But it's like, I can't thank you enough, man. I'm going to keep thanking you the whole show. You know what I mean?
I thank you for allowing me to be a part of your life, you know, because again, I'm not always the easiest person, you know. Sometimes I'm the problem, so you know, I get it. I get it.
Man, you never problem with me, so you good, bro. Let's fast forward a little bit more now. So now, you know, you're at Arizona. You know what I mean? Where it's just, this is the big leagues, I'll say. You know what I mean? This conference is no joke. You know, you've seen premier plays, premier coaching, you know, premier displays of basketball every single night. And you can't take a night off, you know what I mean? You have to prepare for this because it's that high of a level, you know what I mean? And, you know, you had a lot of success there, as we see, you know, as we witness ourselves. But just talk about your time there and how, you know, just talk about some of the experience you had in Arizona that you enjoyed. Let's say that.
Tucson, Arizona is arguably one of the most special places in the country for basketball. I don't think there's a parallel. And I want to say especially with everything that's happened, that's one of the top 5 places in the country, just based on location and basketball. It's 14,500 seat arena that's been sold out for I think 32 years. It's a basketball society. Coach Lute Olson has made it a basketball society, a destination. Before we got to Arizona, Dread, they had the most pros drafted. He had the most pros drafted, and what he's truly done for basketball culture, I don't think it'll be ever parallel. So when we get there, we were the 4th coaching staff in 4 years. Coach Olson had taken sick, and 1 year was Kevin O'Neal, 1 year was Russ Pennell, Coach O, and then we were the 4th coaching staff. And I'm just telling you, it was nothing what you thought, because again, like my 2 years at Xavier, I got to an Elite 8 and a Sweet 16. It was like it just wasn't fair. I just come off a 2-year run with the Gauchos where we lose one game. We lose one game, championship game. Or sorry, we lose one tournament. Let me say that. And then you get here and it's like, wait up, you win 30, you get 30 wins your first year, and then your second year, shit, you get another 28, you lose in a game to go to the Sweet 16. You start to say like, wow, maybe I'm that good. But you get to Arizona, our first year there, again, like I said, Coach O, who was a legend, man, he wasn't the same. And 1 year, so I'd say this is the greatest job I think I've done. Kevin Parham from the Bronx, Momo Jones from Harlem, Solomon Hill from LA, Derek Williams from LA, Kirill Nat-Yasko from the Ukraine. We get those guys in about 6 weeks. That was our recruiting class.
I know they looking at you like, oh, nah, this dude's special. Like, at this point, they got it. You know what I mean? They got it. I don't want to say worship, but they got to look at you like, okay, this guy's for real. Like, this guy is amongst the big dogs because he's bringing in top prospects, and not only top prospects amongst, like, as far as ranks, he's a coach who can relate and unite with these guys to make these guys feel comfortable to come to. It's not like a business. You know what? These guys be having 5 hats on the table now. We ain't gotta have 5. I'm going to Arizona because I feel comfortable going there because Coach Book is there. Simple.
And that's what happened, Dred. Our first year, my first year, so we get those guys, and you get them about 6 weeks. Lance, and I always tell this story. Lance Stevenson was committing to Arizona, like everybody knew, and Sean just was like, I don't know how we can do it. Like that was done, and his pop Stretch, his mom's Berm, Tiny, like they was okay with it, and it was one of those, especially like to go to Arizona from New York. There was only one guy who had done it. It was Khalid Reeves. So to get to, and that's the one thing I think I'll stick my chest out about. When dudes start talking about the jobs that they do in college coaching, I'm like, do you realize what I did just to get the kids from the East to come West? No one does that. And by the way, you talk about the kids that I got. When dudes start saying like, I laugh when they like, well, T.J. McConnell, Sean Miller got. Really? Ask T.J. McConnell. Ask him. And you know what? Sometimes, like once in a while, I gotta let people know, that I have blood in my body because I start talking about my stuff, and it's like nobody was doing what I was doing. Like again, line for line, check it. If I'm not one of the greatest to ever do it, then check it. Let me know who my peer group is.
You are my books. So you put in a lot of work. So we ain't got to talk about that. But everything you've gone through and get to this point. You did Arizona. Like I said, everybody calls you Uncle Book because that's like I said, everybody's got this special relationship with you that like it's just so much easier to relate to. As you continue to inspire kids, develop kids, and kind of watch them grow. What are some things at this point, as you're in college, as a coach? What are some things you wish like to see like kids coming from high school to college, a transition they should make coming from high school to college, excuse me. Like what is something different you would love for them to do coming in? the door. You know what I mean? As a freshman, let's say.
Understanding your power that you have as an athlete, understanding who you are as a black young man and woman, but and also realizing that we control the oil.
Yeah. And now, what are some things you would like them to learn going out the door, coming from college to go overseas?
The true business of of basketball. You know, that word amateurism is such a dirty and nasty word because it doesn't exist. It's not a real word. And making sure that you know what your image and likeness is about, making sure that there's a level of education that you take with you, making sure that those boosters who are cheering for you, that you get to know them, that they can help you in life, because that's what this is about. Making sure that you say, when the air comes out of the ball, I did enough for this university that, you know, I handle myself in a first class manner, that again, they're going to be able to help me in life. That's what this is about. One hand wash the others, both hand wash the face. And the business aspect of it, we do a terrible job of it. And then we leave, and then we stop playing basketball, and there's no connection. And it's like, no. We, again, as my man Jamal down in DC say, now we go together.
That's a fact. That is a fact. And like this all shows like the reason I want to bring this to attention, because it's like I said, so many players that have so much love for Book and respect this guy, that, you know, throughout his years at Arizona, you know, I'm sure these players stayed in touch with him, so forth and so on. And then obviously, if we fast forward a little bit, you know, a tragic incident happened where, you know, with all this NCAA bribery stuff came into play. And for us as athletes and people that was under Book's wing, we're looking at a situation like, nah, that's not the guy. That's not y'all portraying this guy to be somebody he's not. And I know that ain't him. So you telling me it's on the news ain't switching my mindset, because that's not him. So stop lying. And it comes down to a point where now, you know, New York itself, you know, seeing this guy Book, it's like, and he's in Arizona doing his thing. Then it's just this whole thing come around, and it's like, damn, you know, for someone to have to deal with this, who fought through so many obstacles to get where he at, and now has to deal with something like this, and they're making him the front runner of it. You know what I mean? So it's like, damn. You know what I mean? So a lot of guys feel bad at that point. You know, as we go forward, I don't want to really get into details, but for me, it's like, Book has done so much for this game that it's sad to see the game not show the love back to him. And in his world, the game was controlled by, at that time, you know, the NCAA, so, you know, let's say best friend Sean Miller, people that's supposed to be in his corner to protect him at that time. And, you know, without even asking you a question, I'm sure, you know, you felt the seed, or things didn't go your way, whatever the case may be. But I tell you one thing, man, I'm still proud of you then, before, and I still got that same love for you, and I'm still proud of you now. Just like I came to you and put my trust in you to coach me, I came to you now when I have an injury. I was working out with somebody else. I said, no, I'm done working out with them. I want to work out with Book, because it's much more than just the drills you put me through and get shots up. It's that feeling. You bring that mentality back to me, where it's like, nah, I need that goal, man. And when I got back to thinking about it, and thinking about all these coaches that's coaching Tommy, Dwayne Mitchell, you, and so forth and so on. But when it comes to somebody to truly relate to, like, if I wanted to put a coach as my teammate on the court, I think you'd be one of the guys. Reason why, because you always motivated me to take my game to the next level, bro. That I can't, like I said, I can't express how much we appreciate you, bro. For real.
No, and like I said, Dred, I appreciate you. You know, I think part of the whole Arizona experience, it was an experience for me that I'm still going with. You know, you talk about mental trauma, you talk about emotional trauma, because that was my life. And I think at that point, I think I lost myself a little bit. I kind of lost who I was. And you know, the love that I had from so many parents, that's what's kept me going, because like I said, through this whole thing, you know, guys like Ash Howard, Swati Billups, like those dudes checking on me, Aunt Ross, you know what I'm saying, my little brother Felipe. I've gotten a lot of love and you start to say, like, you know, June Balloon, like Charlton Clark, that brotherhood, you know, kept me going, because no one would ever know how that feels to have the FBI come to your house at 6 a.m. with guns drawn and a
Man,
battering.
listen, man. Most people think they only can see that in a movie, so you can't say and say experience. Ain't nobody know what that feeling feel like. No one. You know
And
what I mean?
and you're saying all for the love of basketball, you know, and I say, like, you know, I used to ask Allah, I used to ask God, why me? You know, why me? And then you know what I said? Why not me? Who are you? What makes you any different, my man? Why not you, Book? Right? You're
Right.
supposed to be that guy. Why not you? You know,
Right.
put the world on your shoulders and say, listen, He's not going to give you, Allah's not going to give you any more than you can handle. But the problem is, as you go through it, you don't want to hear that. So as you go through it, you know, like I said, everything was taken. Everything
Right.
was
Oh, we
taken.
got a
And
question. We got a question up here, Book. I don't want to.
mhm.
It says, Book, what do you think about high-level athletes going to HBCU schools? Like, put it up for you, and we'll
I,
consider coaching at it.
I absolutely love it. I would consider coaching anywhere. Like, that's my love. You know, Duran, you've been with me in the gym. I'm still a coach. I'm a teacher.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I just saw, if that's Julius Allen, like, I just saw him, like, Timon, that's my OG. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have ever been at the Gauchos. That's a fact. So, you know, like those HBCUs, we don't give them enough credit. And what happens is, because the like Lavelle Moulton, that's at North Carolina Central, that's the homie.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the fact of the matter that as coaches, we aspire to move up because of the money, because of the resources, and you feel it's easy to recruit. Like, I can't, you know, you feel I can't recruit Durant Scott at Morgan.
Mm-hmm.
So what happens now, if there's a situation where, you know, if you're already going to the league, you may have to look at it. And I think we need HBCU alum to you know, to say, listen, these are the advantages of it.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, I don't see an issue with it.
Mm-hmm.
But I think we need to understand that we got to stop acting like we're not controlled. We got to stop acting like
We
we don't
have the
have
power,
control. We have,
and
not
we
only do
have
we have the
control.
power, and I'll just say this, I think we have to do a better job of even just, listen, let's have the conversation. And by the way, if you don't go there, that's fine, but let's make sure you have the relationship to say, you know what, it might happen.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm telling you, like, we do a terrible job. Like, we've been systematically taught to down one another. We've been systematically taught to compete and destroy. And
Facts.
we start destroying our own resources, and then guess what? Now a story is being told for us versus us telling our own story. Like, you have no idea how proud I am to talk with one of my former players about our stuff. We control our destiny and history. No
Mm-hmm.
one can change that narrative. Why? Because we did it, and we did it at such a high level, and no one will be able to do it again. That's why, like, I love to challenge guys, whether it's New York, whether it's New Jersey, whether it's this motherfucking country. It's nobody like me. It's nobody like us. And I say that again with all due respect, all praise due to Allah, because guess what? It's his calling.
Facts.
It's his calling.
Right. Definitely right. So, after all this happened in Arizona, it's kind of downtime, but we persevere, we get through it, you know. So at this point, the question becomes, what's next for Book? How does Book bounce back? You know what I mean? What does Book have in store next? You know what I
I
mean?
gotta I gotta continue to give back. I gotta continue to teach. Like I said, Dred, I've been in the gym since 9 a.m. You know, we going with groups of 4 and
That's what I'm
5.
saying. And I feel
And
like, you
and
know what I mean? You going back home, going back to the roots, going back to the shows where, where you had such a great love for this organization. And, maybe you could tell me, but, maybe it's a place where you could kind of find yourself again. You know what I mean? And just kind of
Dred,
just.
you know when they said I couldn't come back home? When I was back home. it, it's it's the true gift, man. You know, to watch guys like you come back into that gym, to watch others come into that gym, and to see them kind of be mystified by the wizard, and it means so much to me. You know, I make jokes with being a Jedi master. You know, when you come in and get work from Yoda, that's what this is for me. You know, I feel like I'm, again, like I said, I'm the Dark Knight. Like, yo, we gonna come, we gonna work, because I know this. the stuff that I'm giving you guys is the stuff that I'm giving those young, the fifth graders, the sixth graders, Markel Austin, Brandon Stores, Todd Turner, you know what I'm saying, Mel, all those kids that I'm giving them the same work, I'm giving them the same things that I would give a pro. No, so again, I make sure that they know, I'm trying to train you to get here. Like, what the greatest feeling in the world when you come in the gym and I work with you, and then by the way, now I got a sixth grader looking at me. You know what I'm saying? I got man looking at me, a sixth grader saying, "Oh snap, huh? He's doing the same thing." Yeah, this is the end dog. This is the lead dog who I fed Ukanuba like I'm feeding you. Guess what? You're gonna be him. So it's like I'm doing it with different generations. So when people use that word legendary, I stay away from it. But I look at it now like I'm coaching generations. I'm coaching Amari Lawrence's nephew. I mean, you know what I'm saying? His nephew.
And Adam. Adam. Adam logged in too. And that goes back to like, and me seeing that, us seeing that, because me and Amari, we sit down and watch this. Like, man, to physically have Amari nephew to be coached by someone who coached us, you know what I mean, and been a part of our lives, like, it's like it's nothing we could possibly tell Book, like, yo, Book, don't do that with him. Or we could tell Adam, we can go, man, Book, you're allowed to do whatever you want with Adam and get him right because you Uncle Book. At the end of the day, we know you're going to stand him right and, he's in good hands. You know what I mean? And that's how most parents felt when coaches are booking Gauchos or anywhere. I'm pretty sure at that. You know what I mean? Which is why he built these special relationships. And I always tell people, networking and resources and building these relationships with people go way further than anything, because those are the people that's going to look out for you at the end of the game. You know what I mean? So, just you gotta be mindful of that, man. Definitely got to.
And I say this too, because now I hear all the time like, hey, the Gauchos are really good. Hey, their middle school program is good, but those kids leave because there's no high school, because there's no shoe sponsorship. Okay, like I said, man, when dudes start saying that I can't do it, because I've always been challenged when it's like, we can't do it again. Okay, watch. Because there's, like I said, I have a house, I got a gym that no one else has, in the country. And by the way, I'm telling you, our stuff, you've been in the lab. You understand what I'm cooking up in that lab. And again, I would, anybody, come give me 45 minutes, give them 45 minutes, and again, watch my work, watch their work. No gimmicks, no nothing. Like, yo, we're getting better. We're getting better. By the way, it's terminology. We're getting all of that. It's footwork. It's all of that. And by the way, Dred, like I said, 45 minutes. That's it. 45 minutes. And again, it's the passion is there, because by the way, old, out of shape, overweight, I could still go run a floater, Dred. I can still go.
Hey, bro. Hey, Book still got it, but we might have to get like 5 to 10 minutes to stretch a little bit.
And get a Snickers.
But as you go, man, like I said, man, we appreciate you, Book, man. We appreciate you.
I appreciate you. Thank you.
Getting back to the culture for real. And, I'm definitely going to let you go, without you give me a line for my favorite Fabio song real quick before we let you go. That's number one. Hey.
Screaming, you ain't GDK, boy. The fuck is you doing with me? Figgies? Man, perfect. Hey, yeah. Free something, he's a demon. Hey! Geeked up.
Hey, Book, bro, I appreciate you at number one, bro.
I tell you sometimes, Aunt Ross be like, nah, Book from Brooklyn. Man. Book from Brooklyn. I love it. So like I said, I appreciate you. But again, like I said, Shorty's a baddie. How it go? Shorty's a baddie. Hey. Geek.
Hold on, Book.
Hey. That's all I got. Hey, I'm tired now, Dre.
Hold on now. You know that was the Fabio Book. Hold on. You know that was a bag, book.
Get it,
But they thought this
Dread.
was, man. It's a family
Get it,
reunion.
big
This ain't no
GDK.
interview.
Get it. Geeked up. Hey,
Yo, son. Yo,
put
this
ice in
dude
the
Buck
watches
is a
on freezer
clown,
time. I
bro.
know. Scream, you ain't
I
GDK, boy.
did. Hey, what time, Buck? Turn up, Buck.
I'm tired now.
Yeah.
I'm tired.
Hey, yo, Book, I appreciate you, bro. Much
Salute. I
love,
love you,
baby.
brother. Derek, big fella, Derek Dennis. You saw me acting fool. I love y'all. I'm going, man. I'm
Love
eating
you,
these
bro.
Snickers and that's dinner. Love y'all, man. See y'all. I'll be at the gym tomorrow at 9, unfortunately.
Yes,
Somebody
sir.
gonna work. Love you, baby. Oh man.
Son, son. I'm gonna keep it per yo. This episode right here is legendary. I really enjoyed this, bro. Like, since I started this is my 4th episode. I can honestly say this is the most enjoyable episode for sure. And it wasn't even athletes. That's what's kind of mind-boggling to me because it's not even athletes. You know, me and my sister, we kind of go over a couple of things. We were like kind of harping on the first episode, how amazing it was, which was surprising. But then, you know, after today, like, bro, that joke was tough. I ain't gonna lie. Snacks, yeah, it was definitely a great. Oh, that's Bunny. What's up, Mom? That's my mom's right there. So we're gonna get right into it. We're gonna put up the rules. Let's get these rules up, y'all. So people understand how this game is played. So, like I said, just follow the rules. Just send it away. Please don't write the answer on the screen. Send it away. I'll tap you in, in chronicle order. Excuse my language. And hopefully you come up, get an answer, and we reward you. I appreciate everybody staying tuned. We had a good episode today. We had Shane, Kamani, and Book. You know, they came up here, show some love, drop some gems. So without further ado, let's get to it, man. Because I had y'all all night, man. I really didn't think this interview was gonna be this long, but like, it was no way I could stop these dudes from going, man. So without further ado, man, these are the questions. So the first question, for the fourth episode, for the fourth episode of International Grind, Inspired to be Inspired. The first question is, what team does what team does Shane Southwell currently coaches at? What team does Shane Southwell currently coaches? That's the first question. What team does Shane Southwell currently coaches? The second question is, where is Kamani Young originally from? Where is Kamani Young originally from? I'll say it again. First question, what team does Shane Southwell currently coaches? Second question, where's Kamani originally from? Go to chronicle order. We got a wave. First wave. Here we go.
Yo,
What's going on? What's going on?
how are you, man?
I'm doing fine, man. How you?
I'm doing all right.
All right, all right. So, I appreciate you calling in. I displayed the questions. The first question was, what team does Shane Southwell currently coaches, and where's Kamani Young originally from?
So he coaches at Kansas State,
Correct.
and he coaches at Kansas State
And where's Kamani Young originally from?
from Queens, New York.
He's not from Queens.
No?
That's tough, man.
Oh,
I apologize that you wouldn't be able
it's
to
all
get
good,
the
man.
answer, but I appreciate you calling in.
All right, take care.
Stay tuned. Tune to our next episode next week, and hopefully, win the prize then.
All right, thank you.
Take care, man. Who Who up next? Who up next? Let's keep it going. Who next? Adam. Let's get him up. Let's get him up. Let's get him up. Big drip.
Yo, oh.
What's going on? What's going on?
Adam is knocked out. So.
Nephew not. So
Yeah,
I appreciate y'all tuning in, man. For sure. So I'll show y'all the questions. The first question was, what team does Shane Southwell currently coaches at? And the second question was, where's Kamani originally from?
This is a wild guess, but is he Jamaican? Jamaica.
Is it? We wish he was. But it wish my yard man, but not a yard man.
Oh man, there we go. On to the next one.
Hey man, but I appreciate you calling in, man. Tune in next week. Hopefully we got some better questions for you and some better prizes. Tap in and we hopefully award you, man.
Absolutely, General.
Thank you, appreciate it. Who we got up here next? Let's keep it rolling. Hands out here. Who got next? My son 305 in here. Hey, 305. See, we do have it in order. We do got you up here. But let's get some other chances up here. But I'm definitely going to give you a chance. I'm not leaving you out. I won't forget about you. I'm going to get some other people up here. So I don't want you to feel like I'm skipping you. It's just that you was, had the chance to win last week. That's all. So I get that next person up here. Bunny Harlem 5, wait for you, Miss Bunny. There we go. Before she even asked this question, they say anything. She's a whole cheat code for everybody who's tuned in. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the mother of Shane Southwell. Now, everybody say hi, because this is a very special person to not only Shane, but also me, because this is a very special person in my life. So, without further ado, talk about the first question was, what team does Shane Southwell currently coaches? And the second question was, where's Kamani originally from?
First of all, I would like to tell you, Duran Scott, you did a great job.
You cut me, yo. Thank you, Mommy. I appreciate it.
So the first question is Kansas State, and the second question is Brooklyn.
Kamani might have to get you.
I'm sorry.
Kamani might have to get you.
I'm sorry, Kamani. I love you.
It's all good. Hey, man, I ain't gonna lie. That question is a little bit tough. I feel like that question you really have to be tuned into the show because it was briefly talked about. But hopefully we get somebody up and win. Win the winning. So I appreciate Mama Love. I appreciate you calling in. Let's see who we get up here. Who else we got? I don't know who this is. Andres. I'm going to assume that, you know what? Since we playing by the rules, you did not send a wave, you send a thumbs up. The rules is to send a wave. So I apologize. You did give a thumbs up, but I can't click you because you did not send a wave. Now, we're on the next person is Will Hernandez. Hold on, let me get this international ground so I can see it a little bit better. We got Will Hernandez. Let's see if we get him up here. I guess not. Who's next? Appreciate you, man. So I appreciate you. Listen, I appreciate all the support. I appreciate all the love I've been getting. Like, trust me, I'm not taking for granted at all. Like, tonight was amazing. Let's keep it going. We got time running out, fellas. Come on, let's get somebody. Okay, hey, come Hernandez. Let's see if we get him up here.
What's up, bro?
How you doing, man? Appreciate you tapping in, man. Appreciate
I'm good.
That's what's up. So I'm pretty sure you tuned in. We kind of gave out the questions, but I'll repeat them for you again.
All right.
Hopefully you give us the answers, man, because people are failing tonight, man. It's easy money.
All right.
So the first question is, what team does Shane Southwell currently coaches for? The second question is, where is Kamani Young originally from?
Okay, so the first question is Kansas State,
Yes.
and the second question is Queens, New York.
I'm sorry, but you did not get it. Yo, everybody's missing this fine print. It's very fine print. It was talked about in the